I mean, you gotta start with that. You gotta start with Trump got shot. Like,
I'm still trying to figure the significant value of all that. The
Supreme Court. Value. The Supreme Court ruled immunity for presidents now and in the future. That's very significant.
Yeah, but
what?
They always have
what? No. Are y'all serious?
Not like this. Not like this. They just strengthened it. And we need to touch on that. In 11 days, we're doing a blood drive, and that's very important. And so we have someone from the Red Cross that's going to speak a little bit about that. But beyond that, there's various ways you can interact with the show. We got the Facebook, the YouTube, the Zoom. How you want to interact is really up to you. If you on the Facebook or the YouTube, if you type your comment, we can see it. We can place it up on the screen, and we can interact you that way. But if you come on the Zoom, you write the show, you come off mute. Just keep it respectful, you know what I mean? We do got a little rule. We muted or booted, you know. For a couple offenses, we might mute you. But if you keep going on, we're going to have to boot you, man. But, you know, everybody's looking to their opinion. Just don't tread on somebody else's. Otherwise, share the show. Like Steve was saying before we started up, we coming up on 4 years doing this. And we want to continue it growing out. And so please share the show. Let folks know that we out here talking about what matters, again, to the West Side, to the world at large, and you know, to the people that matter, that can hear our voices. So always like to start off by going to see, man, what you got going on, Steve?
Oh yeah. Well, first and foremost, you're right. I was at a picnic, and there were actually a few events yesterday that were like picnics. One of them being at the Mosaic Church, which is in Gilwood on Oak Park Avenue and North Avenue. They had a picnic for the community and the church members, I guess, and they had some really good food. If anybody likes Indian cuisine, they definitely know how to cook that. You got some. I told them they made some dragon meat, and some of that stuff was hot and spicy. But nevertheless, I ate so much yesterday. There was an event that Representative Lilly had, and I'm trying to find if I could find the flyer real quick, I'll read it. But it was in regards to, one second here, and that was also in Gilwood, but it was in regards to, I have to read it because if I don't read it, I don't want to make a mistake with it. Okay, it was called Beef Up the Block. It sounded like a stripper club. A male stripper club, Beef Up the Block. And what it was indeed was about Menard County Farm. And let me reopen it. If I can open it up, come on, yeah. The Bureau, Menard County Farm Bureau, going to beef up the block, and they came out and brought beef hot dogs and beef Angus burgers and cooked them up, and sodas and ice cream and everything else in between. They gave it out free from the hours of 11 to 2 o'clock at Sears School. So, you know, that happened, and I happened to drive through there, and it weren't quite there. You know, when I got there, it was almost over, but it seemed like people enjoyed themselves. The food was great. I have to say that. And after that, I went over and attended the picnic at Mosaic Church, which was rather well. So it was a good day yesterday. Ran into a bunch of people from the community, and we had a pretty good time. But somebody did say to me, it was like, "Did you hear the latest?" I'm like, well, what might that be? And they said, Donald Trump had an attempted assassination. And I'm like, an attempt? Then the second thing I said was, what's the significant value of that to anything? He's not the leader of the free world. He's not the president. And, you know, how does that really affect us? If you guys know what I mean.
Jamae said that there were Trump supporters on Madison and Central.
Oh, that was you know who that was. That was P.
P. Ray?
Yeah, P. Ray.
That was P. Ray.
No, but P. Ray.
Yeah, you know it was P. Ray. P. Ray out there. She wilding anyway. You know she gonna make sure that happens. Gotta get my Donnie. Oh, really?
Carter, I spoke to Carter Trust, who said she's no longer a part of Chicago Red.
Wonder why?
She said she's still Republican. She's just no longer a part of that org. She didn't
Oh, really?
she the deeds.
Wow. I want y'all to look real close right here. I want you to look really close right here. Everybody. Y'all see the tear?
We can't.
Because if you see one, let me know. Right about now, you ain't gonna get no tear from me on that. That ain't gonna happen.
That ain't gonna happen.
Not at all. Not for me. I don't care about none of that. None of that.
I think the significance of Trump getting shot, it's funny because there's a lot of speculation and conspiracy theories about either it was staged and or it was the other party that set it up to take him out. One thing that it does do is give him marketing, and Trump is a marketing genius. So he's gonna play this up. When they took him off the stage, he pumping his fist. Everybody yelling, USA, USA. That man is a nut, boy. Listen, man.
I mean,
what it does is give him energy. That's momentum. And these are the times where you need to be having momentum. I'm talking about, I'm going through Twitter, and Twitter is just, a pocket of reality. But what I'm seeing is everybody, yeah, that's my president. He like 50 Cent. He could take 9 shots and bounce. Oh, come on. It's marketing. You talking about what it do. Man, listen, this man finna rap. The RNC start tomorrow. They up the street from us. They in Milwaukee. So, he finna go crazy on that mic. Yeah, they tried to take me out. You can't stop bulletproof Trump. Come on, man. That's finna be wild, man. Come on, nah, man.
I don't know if it was staged or what the case was, but I don't know. But a life was lost and some seriousness, of course, took place. There was people who was injured and someone's life was taken. So I don't know exactly what. They didn't look surprised. Like if you look at their faces, they don't. But I don't know if it was staged or if they had something to do with it, it'll come out and they'll be in serious trouble because again, someone lost their lives. So, but yeah, he has been to jail and shot at. So he's feeling real gangster right now.
He already said when he went to jail, he closer to the black folks now. Now what you think gonna happen now that he shot?
I take that.
I didn't want to associate that with us.
Yeah, for the people that ain't went to jail, they take it as an insult. For the other ones,
there's more black people that ain't went to jail than have. I mean, that tell you a lot about the people that follow them. I don't understand. How can anybody follow a man that's so immoral? And I'm gonna get on a holy soapbox today.
Get on your soapbox then, Steve.
I'm just gonna say it. How can a man be so immoral and everybody follow that? What leads you to believe a man that cheats on his wife doesn't really care about his kids? I guarantee he'll throw his kids in front of a bullet before he can take it. He doesn't really care. Everybody you say you're familiar with the David Duke from the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. I don't know who he is. Never met him. The guy lies and lies and lies and lies, and people still want to hear him talk. Why would you want to hear a perpetual liar when you know that person just continues to lie? Why do you? I guess it's just for humor or something. I don't.
Well, he is an entertainer. Keep in mind, we found him on Celebrity Apprentice, so that's where people first met him at, being in entertainment. So yeah, it's for entertainment in addition to, but people don't realize the seriousness of it.
That's the problem. We stuck in the tube. Stuck in the tube with what they used to call a boob.
Oh, there you go. He been gone.
Yeah,
Okay, Mosaic Monk. Mosaic.
Yeah, I'm here. I hear a lot of chatter. Steve seen celebratory about the people that was harmed yesterday, which is quite disgusting. So when a black person gets shot, Don't be mad when the white people don't have no sympathy for us. So that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Now, you pointed out that he's immoral because he cheated on his wife. Most men who marry cheat on their wife. You might not admit it. You might have not got caught. Every man cheats on his wife. That's number one. And if you don't cheat on your wife, because you ain't got that pimping like that. Don't nobody want you like that. Number two is what I'm gonna add. It's out with the old and in with the new. I like what P. Ray doing. She's transformed. Now, I might not like her organization, and I don't agree with everything she says, but it's not about her. But I like that she's given a different voting option. Whether you like the man or not, we need different voting options. Even if it's an independent, even if you can't just keep for the people who've been voting the same. You've destroyed my community. You destroyed my West Side community. This is my community. And you destroyed it by voting the same. And I like that she's giving Black people like, hey, there are other candidates. They're like, oh, okay, cool. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's be respectful because there was a loss of life. There was violence that happened. And we want sympathy when George Floyd got killed, Tamir Rice got killed, Breonna Taylor got killed. We didn't want nobody joking about our people. You feel me? So, and tell me what policy you didn't like that was immoral that Trump had, Steve. And I'm gonna land my helicopter.
What policy?
Yeah. What policy was immoral that Trump implemented that affected you and Black people? I'll hold.
Well,
you might.
Is that better? No, like that. Yeah, y'all can hear Steve, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we can hear him?
Yeah, they hear you.
Oh, to mute this. Okay. So is it okay now? They hear you. Okay. So what policies? Shoot, I didn't like any of his policies.
Okay, which specific policy though? Because if you're gonna call a man immoral and you just looking at his personal life, that's none of your business. What policy did he implement? Because I bet you can't name a policy that you don't disagree with because you don't read policy.
Well, let me say this. I didn't like the idea that he fraternized with the Russians. He tried to make that a policy.
That all came out false. Trump was never charged with any collusion with Russia. That was all debunked, Steve. That was all debunked.
But we've seen it. We've seen that.
What you see?
Oh, Mr. Putin, they were talking about you, and I'm here to defend you. I'm like, what is wrong with this man?
Yeah, that has nothing to do with policy, Steve. You don't like that man. You don't like that man for no good reason. You have, and most of you older Black people, you have no reason not to like Trump. You just don't like him because y'all racist. Period.
I mean that's a whole nother thing. Y'all racist. One racist to another. You want to say?
I'm a racist too.
Again, how do you saying policy? First of all, would you let your kid stay at night with this man?
I wouldn't let my kid spend a night with you, and I'm not saying anything bad about you. I know you're a good brother, but I wouldn't let my kid. Only person that my kid can spend a night house over is my brother over there. That's it.
Okay, let's take it off. Let's take it off the kid. Would you lend money to that man?
Would I who?
Would you lend money to Donald Trump?
And I'm gonna charge him so much damn interest, Steve. It's gonna make his head blow. I'm gonna charge so much interest. I give him. I'll lend him some money. I'll lend you some money.
But I'm totally different, man. How do you lend a man money that lies like a rug on everything that he could speak on? I mean, the man just is. I have no understanding other than he has some mental illness. Because how do you live like that? Everything comes out of your mouth. I don't know this one. I didn't know anything about 2025. I don't know. Come on, man. You don't know
Now,
nothing
now
about
I will give you. Now I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it 100. A spade is spade and a square is a square. Trump do lie. I'm not gonna lie. He does lie. That man, I swear, that man lies so much. It's ridiculous how much he lie. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna refute that. I will be blind to refute that. But let me tell you something. Obama lied too. The difference between Obama lie and Trump lie, Obama is very elegant and he speaks very eloquently. So when you speak really good, and most black people, Steve, that followed Obama can't even keep up with his intellect. Don't know what he was saying. The man go over people's head. But there's a lot of things that he done and that he lied about. There's tons of things that he did, but you don't see it because he walks so elegantly. He's so private. He don't move like Trump. Trump is what you see is what you get with Trump.
Example what Obama lied about. Give me an example.
Okay, so here's an example about what Obama lied about. He lied about everyone being able to get health care. He lied that when he implemented Obamacare, that people who couldn't get Obamacare, that their plans would stay the same, and it didn't stay the same. He lied about that. That's a clear lie that he did. He also lied about the things he did in Libya. These are facts, Steve. You told me to give you an example. I'm giving you an example.
Were there adjustments made from those misquotes, let's say?
Yeah, no, there were adjustments made, but there were lies. He said, you're going to be able to keep your same policy. People wasn't able to keep their same policy when he implemented this. That was a lie. When he first became president, on his website, he said, in this administration, in this administration, and I'm flowing straight from the survival scrolls. At this administration, this is what he said, Steve. We protect whistleblowers, meaning we protect people who speak against the government who are doing things like surveillance and taking our data. Why 13 days later, he took that off his website and people screenshotted those. He lied. You just don't know it because he talks so smart. He go over your head.
Let's go to killing. How many people did Obama kill unauthorized?
Obama killed. Okay, he dropped a drone on an American citizen. He dropped a drone on an American citizen. He also he killed way more than Trump. You see what he did in Libya? He apologized. He said that's the worst thing I did in my presidency was getting involved with Libya. Look this up, y'all.
He apologized, so he does have some humanity.
Hey, if somebody kill your peoples and they talking about an apology, man, ain't no apology for you killing all of them people.
Well, what happened when Donald Trump had people killed and he didn't even want to apologize? He was trying to hang his own vice president. So
he wasn't trying to kill him. The dude he killed, Steve, was an Iranian militant who had something to do with some of the terrorist attacks that was going on at the time. He killed the head dude, and guess what? Iran, they ain't do nothing. They sat there. They were scared. They were spooked. That white man spooked them people. They didn't want to do nothing. Russia invaded Ukraine when Biden was in. Man, none of these wars was going on. And he took our soldiers out of Afghanistan. Out of Afghanistan. Come on now.
There were a lot of wars going on. There was Syria. There was,
but there wasn't American involved. Now we're involved in proxy wars. We in war now, Steve.
No, Americans were involved in Syria because there was the Russians that were involved, and the Syrians were involved, obviously. But they had
How was we involved in Syria?
Because we were in there on ground level with CIA working from the outside. But
I gotta do some research on that. I don't remember ground soldiers, United States soldiers in Syria.
We had people in Syria. Trust me, we had to be. If we didn't, that was the gap that could be
Okay, then they was in Syria. That was during Obama's reign. Not Trump didn't send soldiers in Syria.
Yeah, but you said we didn't have any. No, Syria went on, still going on now. So I mean, it was after Obama and doing.
Okay, cool. That Syrian war started during Obama's reign between 08 and that 4-year span. So what I'm saying for that 8-year span.
Who started the war? You said there were no wars going on during Donald Trump. As if
we was America. If you could look it up, America was not involved in a war during that time. We were not at war. Now we're officially in war with multiple. We at war with Russia, China, Iran. So, like a lot of these, we are in war. So and inflation is high too. Inflation is 3%. So that means the buying power. When you go buy you some eggs, when you go buy you lettuce, it costs more. People are broker now. And it's like, y'all got to get out of y'all ego. The Bible says one of the most sinful things you can have is pride. And if you believe the Bible, y'all set y'all pride to the side. Biden is not doing good.
That is the devil. Let me ask you this. Are you making more money now? Are you making more money than you?
Steve.
You're not?
I mean, I'm making $65,000 to $80,000 a year. I got money on. I got money on. I got dollars.
You making some money. So why
I'm making some money on.
Why you can't combat inflation with the money on that you getting on?
Well, you got to think about it. You can't outbeat inflation. It doesn't matter if I make $80,000 a year. The inflation makes my dollar worth way less. It makes so $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. That's just basic finances right there. So at the end of the day,
how do you spend your dollar? Let's be realistic. If you
it's all about how you spend your dollar. But you know what? That's not the point. The point is inflation is high because he's giving money to immigrants. He's giving money. A lot of people in the Austin community is complaining about these immigrants. Trump is going to fix the complaint that the black people are complaining about. Why are y'all fighting that?
Trump needs to be fixing that ear that he got shot in, because I don't know how the heck anybody. I mean, what do you do? Stick his ear out in the air and say, "Hey, just get this little tip right here. Don't come any closer." I don't know what's going on with any of that. I don't know that is real.
I mean, it happened though, Steve. It's true. It happened. You know what I'm saying? It definitely happened. Somebody got some background noise.
Yeah, I know we could go on with this, but I definitely want to make sure we get our guests. We didn't necessarily specify a time by which
for sure
we were going to come on. So I know we're gonna jump right back in this because we still need to talk about the fact that the Supreme Court has now given immunity to presidents, and that is going to have an effect on protesting and things like that. And we know that America does have a history of neutralizing its own citizens, those that are typically black. And so we definitely need to talk about the ramifications.
So let's talk about.
But I want to check the time to see, if the brother from the Red Cross needs to jump in now. I know to him, we just threw him right in the fire. He don't know what's going on. All he hears is Trump this, fighting that. You know what I mean? So I just want to make sure he's good.
Maybe with the Red Cross, we can put some Band-Aids on some of this.
He has to log off at 7, DeAndre.
Well, no, Steve, DeAndre, I appreciate the commentary. Very interesting. If I wasn't here representing the American Red Cross, I would jump in and give my opinion.
Yeah. All right, brother. Let's go. Let's go ahead and introduce yourself with the Red Cross, and let's talk a little bit about the event on the 25th and why it's important.
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, I want to spend a special thank you to Angelica. Thank you so much for the invite. We really appreciate it. This blood drive is because of her. She reached out to the American Red Cross, to my team. And she put this whole thing together. So thank you so much. Thank you for the podcast. Thank you, Steve, for having us. We greatly appreciate it. Now, the importance of this particular blood drive, this is focused on the Sickle Cell Initiative for the state of Illinois. Let me take a step back. So let me introduce myself. So my name is Kwame Wallace. I happen to spearhead the Illinois Sickle Cell Initiative for the American Red Cross. And what that means is that I go out into our communities that I was born and raised in, and I find Black blood donors for the initiative of the sickle cell patient base. So what that means basically is, if you're not familiar with sickle cell disease, it greatly impacts African Americans. 100,000 individuals throughout the United States are battling sickle cell disease at this moment. And a majority of them are African American or African descent, I should say. Now, the only current cure for someone battling sickle cell disease, is a blood transfusion. And the best blood that they can get is someone from the same ethnicity. Unfortunately, throughout the Black community, we do not donate blood, number one, because there's some historic inequities involved in that. And number two, we weren't raised in an environment, I should say, where we could actually donate blood. So we're changing that narrative, number one. We're getting out in the community. We're coming out to churches. We're coming out to community centers, and we're setting up to collect blood from people that look like you and I. So that's the importance. When someone's battling sickle cell disease, they need like for like blood, meaning they need blood from someone that looks like you and I, and that blood is going to save their life. What we'd like to do is to get the word out. Number one, show up on the 25th of July. Even if you don't plan on donating blood, come out and see what it's all about. I think for a lot of us in the community is that if we've never been to a blood drive, that's fine. Maybe we have some apprehension. That's okay. Just come out. Come hang out. Come see what it's all about. If you think that it's something for you, step up to the plate, roll up your sleeve, and donate. Each pint of blood that we get in our community saves about 3 lives of individuals that look like you and I. So it's very important. If there's any questions, please feel free to go ahead and ask now about donating blood, because in my conversations, I find that a lot of people have a lot of inaccurate information about what it is to donate blood, where it goes, and things of that nature. So thank you guys. Feel free to ask any questions. Forgive me, I'm at the airport right now. If there's any background noise, I'll try to find a quiet spot, but please ask any questions that you guys have.
Thank you, Kwame. I don't have any questions, but I just wanted to chime in. I appreciate you so much for coming on, and we'll be partnering with Steve and DeAndre from the 15th district and the congressman. So in addition to everything that Kwame will be doing to support us, there'll be a panel. The congressman will be on the panel. We'll have a parent, not myself, because if you all know me, you know I am a parent. So this is near and dear to Ramaya and I, because we watched my son. He's 21 now. He'll be 21. But we've watched him go through so much suffering due to sickle cell, a lot of hospital weeks and surgeries and, like different procedures. So it's taxing and it weigh on you and you feel helpless. But the blood transfusions, like Kwame was saying, it's what saves them. So please, y'all, share this as much as you can. Come, you ain't got to stay. It's from 10 to 4. But like Kwame was saying, donate blood. We have like some reservations. Even DeAndre was like, I don't know about donating blood. So I'm like, you got to, you partnering on this. But yeah, so again, Kwame said if y'all got questions, but if you know somebody, which most of us do, know someone with sickle cell trait, or who may have lost someone, that won't be my son's story. His won't end like that. He'll live a long life. I claim
Absolutely.
that. But
Absolutely.
yeah, so please just share and come, y'all.
Someone just said, who's able to give blood? What happens if you have health issues, right?
So that's a great question. And so the first part of that question, anyone can come out and donate blood. Now, the great thing about this is that anyone that comes out is going to get a pre-health screening. So keep in mind, you're just not going to show up and roll up your sleeve and donate blood. What we're going to do at the American Red Cross, we're going to give you a health screening. We're going to check your blood pressure. We're going to check your hemoglobin, which is your sugar levels. We're going to make sure that you're healthy enough to even donate. And the good thing about this is that a lot of times that this is sometimes people haven't been to the doctor's office in 6 months to a year. This is a mini free health screening for you right on the spot to make sure that you are not facing any other chronic conditions. So once they clear you at that particular point, then you're available to donate blood on the spot. So back to that original question, anyone can donate. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter if you have diabetes. It does not matter if you have hypertension, high blood pressure. We will make that determining factor upon your health screening before you donate blood.
Okay. I have a question. Are Black people the only people that have sickle cell traits, or are there others?
So again, great question. So there are other individuals. Now, the highest population of people that have sickle cell happen to be people of African descent. But the next highest population are people of Mediterranean descent. So that's people from Greece, Turkey. Those are the next highest population of people that have sickle cell disease. So no, we are not the only.
What about Sicilians?
Sicilians, yes, that would be in the third category.
Right. Yeah, I kind of knew that. I just wanted some confirmation.
No, that's a good question because a lot of people always ask that. I mean, but again, the highest probability of someone having sickle cell disease is they're going to be from African descent. And the reason that is because centuries ago, that was a trait that protected us. A lot of people don't realize that. When we were in the continent of Africa, that protected us from malaria. And that's why we are the highest probability of having sickle cell disease.
Can I ask what is sickle cell actually?
Absolutely. And thank you for that because I did not explain that initially. So sickle cell disease in short is really the most common blood disorder in the US. So what it is a normal person has red blood cells. They're soft and they're round, and their job is to carry hemoglobin, oxygen throughout the body and deliver that to the vital organs. Now, if someone has sickle cell disease, unfortunately, their blood cells are not round and soft. They're hard and crescent shaped, which means that it makes it hard for them to go through our blood vessels. That's number one. And number two, it makes it difficult for them to carry the oxygen, to carry the hemoglobin to the vital organs. So that means that when they're going through the blood vessels, they clog up because they're crescent shaped, kind of like a traffic jam. When that happens, that means there's a pain crisis for that individual. That is from what's been explained to me, that is just tremendous amount of pain, debilitating pain, to where you have to go to the hospital. You have to go to the hospital to get opioids, pain-reducing medication. And at that point, you're going to have to get a blood transfusion, which is going to eliminate all that sickle blood cells from your body and rejuvenate it and transfer healthy blood cells into the body. And that's why it's so important that us as Black folks step up and donate. So when that individual goes to the hospital, they have our blood on the shelves. And a lot of times they don't have our blood on the shelves, which means they have to use some other type of blood, which can bring additional adverse reactions because it's not a perfect match for that person.
Yeah. And is it difficult to get Black people to donate?
Unfortunately, I would say that's a yes and no question. Yes, because a lot of Black folks, in my opinion, have not been taught throughout the years of the importance of donating blood. But when they know the importance, they show up. And that's the great thing about this podcast. When, for example, at Imani Village, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it. It's owned by Trinity United Church on 95th Street. It's a community center, but they know when the Red Cross is out there doing blood donations, people show up in hundreds. So much where sometimes we've had to turn around a few folks because we weren't expecting that many people to show up. So when we know about something, we do show up. So the point of these podcasts, which I appreciate, is to get the word out. So now they know about it, and I feel confident that people are going to show up and roll up the sleeves.
Wow. I mean, this is a how do I put it? We're at a point in life where we've always kind of known about sickle cell and it being a disease that attacks Black people.
Mm-hmm.
But why haven't there been any major scientific discoveries to rid us of this disease?
Good question, Steve. So, to your point, there have been some tremendous updates in the arena. So, for example, in late 2023, there were some FDA approved procedures to eliminate sickle cell disease. Now, the unfortunate factor is that the average person battling sickle cell disease does not have access to those procedures that could actually eliminate the disease within the body. They're not widely available. And number two, insurance companies at this point are very, very slow to reimburse the insurance companies for that procedure. So at the current time, blood transfusions are the most widely available form of treatment at this point. But thanks to Congressman Danny Davis, thanks to Governor Pritzker, they've made some inroads. So they've passed some legal legislation that actually puts us at the forefront of being included in these scientific research studies, getting us at the forefront to making sure that when someone shows up with sickle cell disease at a hospital, they're not turned away from getting opioids and things of that nature. So we could spend all day talking about the nuances of having sickle cell disease and what a working adult who has sickle cell disease has to go through with their employer, taking multiple days off, making sure they get maybe insurance compensation, things of that nature. That's another category. But the bottom line is there have been some inroads. And again, that's thanks to Congressman Danny K. Davis, thanks to Governor Pritzker. They've actually really implemented some strong legislation in Illinois to make sure that individuals, again, that look like you and I that are battling sickle cell disease can get at the forefront, can get in these hospitals, get their procedures, get their blood transfusions, get their opioids without a bunch of headaches. Because keep in mind, when you have sickle cell disease, there's no physical attributes. You or I can walk by each other. You would never know that I have sickle cell disease. But yet every day we got to go to work. We got to raise our families. We have to do all these things as an adult battling this disease. So thank you again to the congressman. Thank you to the governor, and thank you to Miss Angelique for really spearheading this. This is important, and it's unfortunate that I think in our community we need to talk about this more. We might have a neighbor that has a children battling sickle cell disease. Sometimes we don't even know that because we don't get out and talk about it. So that's, again, your podcast is a way we can start doing that.
I think one of the unfortunate things, I had a high school friend, best friend, good friend. His son was born with sickle cell anemia because he had traits and his wife had the traits. And of course, his son had the full-blown sickle cell. Unfortunately, childhood sickle cell anemia versus adult, it's just something about it where it's either treated differently or it's a lot more severe. But the things that I know because of being close to them that can be very detrimental to the life of a person if they're not treated properly.
That's a good point, Steve. Yep.
Yeah, and I'll say this: in addition to everything that Kwame was saying and Steve was saying, that even though like there are different cures and different things that are taking place in hospitals now with advanced medicine, your body being exposed to anything unnatural, it's foreign. So everyone's body don't respond the same to different transfusions. I mean, well, not transfusions, but the different treatments, the different scientific things that have come about. Because I've asked in these last hospital visits with my son, it was such a scare. And the worst thing for a parent is not being able to help your child, to see your child suffer, and you can't do anything, to see your child and being told that, the worst of the worst. I won't even say the things because I don't even claim them, but it's hard when your child is on Narcan because they have him on so many opioids, but that's the only way to one of the only ways that can help alleviate some of the pain. And they give him Narcan. I mean, yeah, Narcan in case of an overdose right there in the hospital. So with that, you can have different things, but when different new things are put into your body, everyone's body don't respond the same. I'm struggling to get my language out, but it don't respond the same. So if you get a new your organs might say, "Oh, this is foreign in my body, and I don't know what it is." So different stem cells, things like that. Your body, everyone don't always accept it. So blood transfusion is things that we know works. This is something we know works. So I can't express how important this is to me. That y'all spread this and we keep this conversation going. I've had so far 5 people who in my immediate circle who I talk to in the community. Y'all know them too. Like Latanya Divine was one who she was like, oh, and we talk a lot. She was like, oh, my baby has sickle cell. We have never brought up the fact that our children both have this disease that we suffer as the caregiver and the parent not being able to do only so much. But we have regular conversations, but we have never talked about the fact that our children have this disease that have taken so many. So yeah, and as an adult, Steve, when they become an adult, you don't have a lot of say over what they eat, over what they put in their body, how to monitor, or I know when I see my son and I know his eyes are yellow and jaundice, I know he's going into a crisis and that we probably need to head to the hospital right away. And they know us at the hospital. So yeah, it's different with an adult and a child because you don't have. I don't know why. I don't really know why, but yeah, I can't express how important this is to me, y'all. So for me and for every other parent and every other friend, I'm just asking y'all to spread this and come donate.
Right.
Thank you, Angelica. Thank you.
That was when the meeting was over with.
Front door. Well, does anyone else have
Those Cheerios? Those honey nut Cheerios? Those.
But Steve, I wanted to again thank you guys. This is a great podcast. You have a new listener here with Kwame Wallace. I appreciate this. I like the candor. It's a great podcast. I like the topics of discussion. But to your initial question is that there's multiple types of sickle cell disease, number one. But also when you come out and donate, you also get a sickle cell trait screening. To your point, a lot of adults that I meet, they don't realize that they have the trait. And again, they go into relationships. They don't have that discussion. Next thing you know, you have a child with sickle cell disease. So that's another important factor that us as Black folks need to have those type of conversations.
Right. I mean, we got to really push it.
I just asked Mom if it was a regular one. Thank you.
Well, somebody was on his phone. But anyway, I was asking like how long ago did this become prevalent to us as humans to know that this is a disease?
Great question. So as I mentioned before, again, this started back when on the continent of Africa, and this was an evolutionary trait. So this was actually a good thing for us as Black folks on the continent of Africa. This actually prohibited us from developing malaria back in the day. This was a good thing for us. It gave our blood cells a fighting chance to not contract malaria. And to that point, when we came here in the United States, unfortunately in bondage, it was proven that we could last longer because when you had white indentured servants, things like Native Americans try to do the same work that we were doing out in the fields, they would catch malaria at a much higher rate than we did. Scientists, even back in that time frame, they noticed that they wrote it down. They said, hey, why aren't these descendants from Africa catching malaria? And when they did the research, it was because of that sickle cell trait. So it served us well back in the day. However, as of now, in the current future, it's a hindrance.
Right. So it's been over 200 years in America that we've known about this in Black people.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's been recorded. They did plenty of studies on it. But only recently, within the last 5 years, the American Red Cross kind of sound the alarm and say, we work in blood in the American Red Cross. Not only we do humanitarian items, but we also fill the nation's hospitals with blood. So we noticed years ago that, hey, we don't have enough of this certain type of blood for sickle cell patients. So we started the sickle cell initiative. Every year we've had these phenomenal success for the last 4 years to increase the amount of Black blood donors year by year. This year, we just finished our fiscal year in June 31st, and we had a phenomenal year. The whole goal is that within the next few years, this shouldn't even be a topic of discussion. This should just be normal dinner time discussion. Hey, did you donate blood, within the last 3-4 months? Things like that, such as like, hey, did you go out and vote? No different. Did you go out and donate some blood? Because there's no excuse. When we come out to your local school, your local church, we set up shop, and you have the ability to donate blood, there's really no excuse. You can go within a 4-block radius and find American Red blood drive going on. There's no excuse. We provide incentives. Matter of fact, because of our relationship with Angelica, coming up on the 25th, each blood donor is going to get a $20 Amazon e-gift card. We're going to have McDonald's gift cards. We're going to have a bunch of just incentives to say thank you for coming out.
We'll say that Mosaic might be there. You said gift card.
Yes, gift cards, absolutely. Gift cards and a bunch of other incentives as a show of gratitude, saying thank you for coming out, information, and just the mere fact that each pint of blood can save up to 3 lives of people that look like you and I, that should be enough things right there. Because this is something that we have to step up and do for ourselves.
Let's see, what's the goal? Let's talk about the goal. What do we need to do as a people? What do we need to do as West Siders? What do we need to do as Chicago?
Okay, and I like that because I was born and raised in Chicago. I grew up and I know every inch of Chicago. I like to think that there's not a part of Chicago that I don't know anything about. But the goal, starting at the goal of this drive, we need 30 units. That means we need 30 people to show up, roll up their sleeves. Now we understand that everybody that shows up for some reason is not going to be able to donate that day. Some people are going to show up, they want to donate, they might have low iron levels because maybe the night before they went out, did whatever. They're going to show up, they might have low or high sugar levels. So that means that if our goal is 30, we really need about 45 to 50 people to show up and say that they want to donate blood. So that is really the goal. 45 to 50 people show up. But even if you don't want to donate, come out, just see what it looks like. That's all I ask. Just come out, because I'm going to have food. I'm going to have refreshments there for you, and incentives. Just come out and take a look.
Show up and show out.
Yes, sir.
I got a devil's advocate type question. Because in modern medicine, Black people, their cells and their fetuses and everything else have been utilized for the gain of others. Now, I do recognize that because this has been something that helped save us since we were brought from Africa, it is primarily beneficial to us. But how do we, for those that are apprehensive, guarantee that this blood actually goes where it's supposed to? Because it almost, in all cases, always seems like Black people are saving everybody but themselves.
Yeah, that's a common question. So that's a common theme. I get asked that all the time. So let me start by saying this. So when you donate blood, if you really want to find out exactly where your blood goes, the American Red Cross has an app and it will track where your blood goes. You will know the day, the minute your blood is provided to someone. So that's number one. And so you can see that it stays in our community and that it's going to someone that's battling sickle cell disease. So that's number one. Number two is I see that point. You know, as I mentioned, I get asked this all the time. But as a community, this is a disease that affects predominantly us, which means that we are the ones that have the ability to change the narrative. So no matter what the thought process is that you've heard from esteemed members in the community like Angelica that can say like, hey, this is what's going on. This is why we need to step up and do what we need to do. To me, there's no greater call than hearing a fellow community member going through her story and saying, this is why we need to do what we need to do. So I understand the old sentiment, but the current sentiment is that you need to get up, roll up the sleeve and donate blood. Because I can guarantee you, I can assure you, and I can show you that where your blood is going. It's up to you if you want. It's up to you if you want to download the app. I can't force you to download the app. I can't force you to take that 2 to 3 minutes to log in and see what's up, where your blood's going. But I can tell you and I can show you.
Someone asked, do they have to have an appointment?
No, you don't. We recommend that you have an appointment only because we value your time and we want to make sure that it's a quick experience for you. But nonetheless, feel free to show up at any time and come donate.
I want to add to that last one. I know for me, when I see that blood come in, it's like heavens is raining down because I know that all the sickled blood is coming out and blood that is not sickled. And you seen, y'all know my son, he 220. Wait, no, he 245 now. So he uses a lot of blood and they have to take out all of the sickled blood, all of it, and just give out him all new blood. So when I see those bags of blood coming in, it's a blessing. It's more than just blood to me. It's him getting life again. So it's more than blood for me. So I know he's getting some good blood. I don't know where everybody else's blood going, but I know he's getting some non-sickle blood doing those transfusions. So it's more than blood to me. It's a blessing coming down through the app.
That's great. That's the great thing. We got to do it. We got to do it. You know, I just think back, like I said, the young man that I knew since he was born that had it, and unfortunately he passed because of it. And an unfortunate circumstance with the hospital not treating him properly. You know, just knowing that things could have been done better and that his life could have been, you know, prolonged and saved. But if there's anything that people can do, let's get out there, y'all. Let's make it happen. We need you to donate. Not money, not time, but blood. We need your blood to help those with sickle cell. So for those that are listening, make sure you come to the Northwest Austin Council, 5730 West Division. That's on July 25th, beginning at what, 10 o'clock? 10 o'clock till 5.
10 to 4. 10 to 4.
Till 4. And come on, let's support. We need it. We got to do it. And like I said, I know Zed coming. He getting a free gift card. He looks for that card. I know.
And I'll be there. I look forward to meeting you guys. Steve, I can't thank you enough. You actually stole some of my lines because I always tell everyone that comes out, I'm not asking for money. I'm just asking for a pint of blood. That's all I'm doing.
Excuse me, but what health conditions would prevent you from giving blood?
Well, Miss Ella, that's a great question. What I can tell you is that, you know, I don't want to obviously get in your business, but before you give blood, you're going to get a full health screening. And my staff, they're going to ask you a variety of questions, such as what type of medications you're on. And then they're going to determine, based upon those answers and your medication, if you're eligible to donate blood. So there's a long list of things that you can have, and there's a list of things that you can't have. But either way, they're going to assess that before you actually donate blood.
Okay, good. All right.
Hey, Miss Ella.
Hey, Angelica, how are you?
Hey, this is the start, y'all. We love to see everybody out. And you know what? I remember when there were blood drives, the biggest thing I used to think about is you get the cookies. They give you the cookies, you know.
Oh, you'll get plenty of those.
Same thing.
You'll get plenty of those. And if you're going to donate, and Steve, to your point, if you're going to donate that day, please eat some breakfast and drink some water. Very important.
Let's be prepared, y'all. Let's be prepared to make that goal. We need, what did you say, 25, 30? How many?
No, the goal is 30
30.
units, which means that 45 to 50 people are going to need to show up, because everyone that wants to donate is probably not going to be able to donate. So as a contingency, we always kind of step it up between additional 15 and 20 people to show up. So we're looking for, again, 45 to 50 people to show up.
So I'm gonna ask there's a lot of young people on this call right now too. So I'm gonna ask all y'all to come and bring at least 2 friends. So I need y'all to come like y'all going to hang out. I need y'all to show up.
Yeah.
So get your gift cards, get your cookies. So what you say?
Okay, let's get blood and go see Bad Boys.
Right, we gonna take the gift cards to go see Bad Boys. Okay.
There you go. So yeah, you just said young people are. Dr. Orr, do you have anything to say?
I am really learning a lot about sickle cell. I don't have sickle cell. I do have family members that struggle from it, but they keep it kind of under wraps, which is interesting. You know, they don't talk a lot about it, but I guess it's because it's a taxing condition. I just would encourage anybody and everybody to give blood and to participate, because when you have a health condition, that's a challenge in itself. But then when it relies on other people to support and other people to give, that's what's really important. This is how we show that we support each other and we move forward, you know, together. This is how we help each other heal. So I'm just sitting learning and listening to the information y'all sharing, because a lot of people just don't know. They don't know the ins and outs of this, and they don't know how much our culture is challenged with this.
What if any of the young people that are on, do you have any questions?
I do. I'm Aiden with Westside Rising. I just, like I said before I put it in chat, I just wanted to know, like where I could donate, and like if I could get like an address or something. Cause like I've donated in the past, but like just listening to this, I feel like I should do it again. So, yeah.
Most definitely, Aiden. Like you said, come down on the 25th, July 25th. That's coming up quick and soon, y'all. That's not this week, but the week after next, after this Monday, which is on a Thursday. We will be here at the Northwest Austin Council, 5730. That's 5730 West Division, right here on the west side in Austin. And we'll be here at 10 o'clock till 4 o'clock. Come on out and donate. Make sure we get as many people, and bring a friend. Bring a friend. Let's do this. We can do this, y'all.
I can be that friend.
I bet. Yeah, that's cool, Dylan. We could do that.
Steve, Mr. Steve, can I add one more thing?
Sure. Go ahead.
So for all the young folk on the phone is that you have to be 17 or older to donate blood.
We're both
16 okay, great. 16 and under will require, the age of 16 will require a parental approval to donate.
And that's via, the parent have to be available at the time or present?
No, what I'm going to do is Monday morning, I'm going to send Angelica a parental consent form, and that way we'll have that available, and we'll get that out before the blood drive. So if there's any individuals 17 and under, they'll need a pre-signed parental consent before they donate blood.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. We can work with that. Did someone else have anything to say? I thought there was someone who wanted to say something. I guess not. But hey, this is important, y'all. Let's do this. We got to do this. Actually, Congressman Davis is really pushing for this. I spoke to him last week along with Angelica Green, and this is something that's dear and important to him, and he is really in there to make sure that we can combat this, or at least have the tools or the blood. That's what we need. They need blood to help those out there in need. So don't forget. It's 7:30 West Division, Northwest Austin County, July 25. That's a Thursday, from 10 a.m. to 4 o'clock. Be there, y'all. It'll be square. What you got, Lee? Nothing, anything? Anybody else have anything they'd like to share?
No, that was good information for sure. The brother's gone already?
Yes. Yes. Oh, what'd you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm still here. I'm still here, fellas.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I got a question.
I'm actually having a good time. I like this. I wish I could comment on the conversations before we started the topic of blood drives, but no, I'm having a good time on the conversation, and I'll be here for the next 10 minutes until I got aboard my plane.
Oh, okay.
I'm happy you having a good time. I had told DeAndre, I said I feel like I invited Kwame to my family dinner, and we had
no, this is typical for me, so I like it.
Man, barbershop talk, man. This how we get in.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm gonna tell you like this. You said blood drive. I think Mosaic almost wanted to give blood because he heard Trump needed some. Let's give him out for some blood.
Unfortunately, the American Red Cross, we're a neutral organization, so I cannot say anything related to that.
You need a red or blue, but just red.
Right. We're like Switzerland. We're neutral. We help anyone. We help anyone and everyone.
There you go.
Yeah. So what I was saying earlier, speaking of, so with this new immunity rule, right? What that gives is any president that's in that position the ability to, let's just say hypothetically, utilize the military against their own citizens. So let's say we got a protest in one of these predominantly, and they want to quell their protest, but they want to do so by enacting the military and having them to go and silence the whole government, if you will. The sitting president can make that order, and they are granted full immunity from that. In the past, you would have got court-martialed. You know, you would have at least had to get taken to trial to see if it was this rational. Now, obviously,
it happened before.
It has absolutely happened before.
I mean, Kent State, that didn't even happen with the president. That happened with the governor from the state.
Philadelphia too.
Yeah, exactly. The movement.
Right.
I mean,
right.
That's why I said, you know.
But now, but that was not a federal office that authorized that. I don't even know what the repercussions were.
Right.
For those mayors that, you know, said, let's do this. But we're talking about at the federal level, the highest level of government. And there was always supposed to be a check and balance. And now you're now in full immunity to let that person, whoever that person is. And for the fear mongering folks out there, if you believe that Trump is the second coming of the devil, then he theoretically could send the military to these predominantly Black communities, and there could be bloodshed, and nothing would happen to them.
Right. That's part of the issue with us being civically engaged and civically informed, because that, along with a whole lot of other policies and laws, even with Obamacare, all of that stuff is passed
Right.
in Congress.
Right.
In Congress, and while we looking left, they passing laws on the right, and there's not enough eyes or attention that represents the regular people and the common everyday people on these policies and laws that's passing and that's affecting our everyday lives. We don't look at it, we don't consider it, and even though you're bringing it up, even if it was brought up in the mainstream media, would the public overall be outraged? That's a big question for me. Like, that doesn't stop us from having a responsibility to be engaged and accountable and knowledgeable. But if this flashed across the news, how would people respond? What would we say? What would we do? Will we even contend with it?
I mean,
It did splash.
it's right. I'm gonna say it. Yeah, it did. Like,
You answered your own question. How would we? And what will we?
you said it was another Monday when it passed. I mean, the part of the
Right.
I mean, part of the problem is that we just refuse to educate. Matter of fact, this goes back. So yesterday, and Angelica and I was together. Her cousin came up from Atlanta with some watermelon. And speaking of, he's right by the stable lot from North Avenue and Central, and he has the orange watermelon, the yellow watermelon, the sweet baby red, the really dark red watermelon that are very sweet, and then he has the regular watermelon. He'll give you a plate too. I'm just helping them sell. That's what we did yesterday. You know what I mean? Now,
you brung all the sales yesterday.
Now, one of us had our shirt off. You know what I'm saying? And it's like stop, pull it up. Everybody stop, pull it up.
No, he did. He was up there with his shirt off, and plenty of cars came.
I saw him out there when he was just coming. But are they seeded or seedless? Because I don't eat seedless. I don't eat seedless watermelon.
They see
Keep your shirt off.
Now look though. So here's the deal. We were out there. We came across a guy who is in the 25th district, and Angelica, forever the saleswoman, was telling him about her district council meeting and that he needed to be in attendance. And the man was like, "Well, I don't do politics." And I said, "Well, hold on, brother. Let me break it down for you, because I hear this too often, and I broke it down the way that I typically do. Again, when I was a kid, I said, excuse me, let me go politic with this man here. That was nothing more than talking. Talking is just relationship building.
That's right.
Like, politics is nothing but relationships. It is relationships because of the resources. And that is the biggest issue for our community. We keep talking about we don't do politics. And to me, that is the greatest source of the reason why we don't have great social networks. Networks. Connections are currency. That is politics in and of itself. You have to build a strong network. We keep talking about why we ain't together. Why we ain't together? We don't talk to each other. We don't have conversations with one another because we're too busy worrying about what the next person got or don't got or look, and who's sleeping and who and doing all. None of that matters. All that matters is you build a relationship, a connection with your tribe, so that y'all
who shot Donald Trump?
Man, it was a white guy.
Why does that matter? He's not the leader of the free world.
I mean, you know, just take his wife. Well, so part of it is that he is a former president and he gets Secret Service coverage for the rest of his life. And if anybody tries to assassinate any former president, then
I want my tax dollars revoked.
Man, I mean,
when it comes to the Secret Service.
That's tight right there.
Every president that's living today gets Secret Service coverage. Clinton does. Well, if somebody tries to assassinate Clinton, it's gonna be a big deal. You know, it's just what it is. But Ms. Bertha said sometimes when we do, you are singled out. Well, I don't know, Ms. Bertha. I mean, are you talking about in terms of just, you know, doing relationships? Because as I was saying, you know, one of the reasons why we're behind in terms of our own understanding is that we always claim we don't do politics, which is just by and large a conversation. It's relational. You know, our networks are small because we refuse to go out and build larger networks and do relationships. We always to ourselves, man. I don't fool with them. I don't fool with. Now I get it though. You know what I mean? You gotta find your tribe. But in a world of 9 billion, if you only got 5 people you can call, then that's on you, man. That's on you. I'm just saying. Don't be calling no people for money though. You don't call everybody for money, because you get to a point they're gonna be like, yeah, nah, I ain't gonna even want to talk to you. So call people for advice. Call people for understanding. Call people for information. You need to have all of those people in your network.
Call people so you can say I'm here to help.
I mean that too. I started to practice this when people call me. I say, okay, what can I help you with? You know what I mean? And people like, wait a minute, I wasn't ready for that. And I started doing that because I think that's important as an engagement person that I am, that I ask people what I can help them with. But that is what we need to be doing. Ms. Bertha was saying, and she was talking about when you speak out and your opinion is different from other people. Yeah. I will also say that's one of the things about the community that is hampering our growth and development. We have a very low openness to experience in terms of personality. There are a lot of Black people who have become very entrenched in their train of thought, you know, based off the way that they were born and their experiences and their perceptions and other beliefs, that the older they get, the less open to experience they are. And when you do that, again, this is why you cut yourself off from things that can help you grow. You don't want to take on new challenges. You don't want to think about new thoughts or ideas. You don't want to say, okay, well, maybe I could be wrong here. You know, you're shutting off so much, and that is a large issue. That is one of the issues that is prevalent in our community as to why we are stagnant the way we are. Everybody just believes that what they know and what they do is the only thing, and it's not. Like, a world of 9 billion people, and you refuse to grow past how you've been since you were 27.
You know, DeAndre, I think it's more than just that. You know, because I view the world from my worldview. How, like you say, how I live, how my surrounding is and everything. And a lot of times people have been the way that you're talking about and don't want to go that route again. You know, they've been through all of this and all of that. And because it's new to you, it might not be new to them. And they just don't want to deal with it. And as far as politicking, my worldview on politics is talking governmental, legislative, the alderman, and all that other stuff. That's the only way I think about politicking. That's all I've ever heard of politicking being, you know, and that is just something I just don't do. The Bible and politics. My mom always told me never get in a discussion because it gets very heated. And that's just my worldview, how I feel about it. But it does not mean I haven't crossed that bridge before.
What about race?
Huh?
What about race? When you're talking about race, racial issues.
Racial issues. God, that's an ongoing battle forever. You're going to always have racial issues because you're going to always have that supreme being who think he's better than everybody else who don't look like him. Race is going to always, just like the Bible, the poor will always be with you, so will racism. Because for every one person who says they're not racist, if you look hard enough, you find a smidgen of racism in their conduct or the behavior.
Yep. Yep.
It might be a little bit, but it's still racism. So racism is going to be a part of our life. We're going to have to deal with it or not.
Right.
That's just how I feel now. You know, you might not feel that way, but that's how I feel. Because all my life, I've been exposed to racism.
I think it's a part of when let's just kind of go back to politics again. When we talk of politics, I typically look at it from the perspective of it's saying who do you like, why do you like them, and why do you like them now? You know, it's just you're really trying to find something in common, or as it's always said, all politics are local and all politics are based on interest. So, you know, interest to me might not be interest to you. And we get that. But at the end of the day, it's the vote that's supposed to be the power, you know? The vote. Get out there and vote. But one thing I heard just recently, and that's always been in the back of my mind, they say, why do politicians always tell us, just get out and vote? We don't care how you vote, just get out and vote. They want you to vote, but they don't want you to vote as a block. Because if you vote as a block, that could be the end of them. They never say, go out and vote as a voting block, with me or against me. You never hear that.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, when I first started running for office, I came across Mark Wallace, WVON. I'm sure many of y'all know him. And they were starting at 10. And they still got it going on because I still receive the mass texts that go out about concerning the 10 by 10. And his whole idea was to create a black voting bloc. You know, now he's primarily South Side based, but he was then coming to the West Side back then in 2016, 2017, so that he could help to build that foundational structure out. I don't know if he's still coming West Side, but he was, to that point, is the only person that I know of is just like, hey, we need to consolidate our vote and vote as a group, you know, and in that way we can control at least some semblance of power, because ultimately, and I've said this before too, the reason why we are not faring well in politics is because we don't understand that we gotta put our bag together and then push it in front of our candidate and say, this is what we look, just like every other group does. Everybody else does it but us. We just continue to listen to what they say they're gonna do. Then when they don't do what they say they're gonna do, we get mad about it. But again, because we're not voting as a block, if Ms. Bertha be like, man, we ain't voting for him, and me and her the only ones not voting for this guy, but everybody else does, what does that mean?
Right.
And so, and again, it's something that I've always stated too, which is we have to change the way that we view this whole thing. When people come in front of us, they're coming for a job. It's just like a resume. So all of these forms and everything are basically an opportunity for us to interview them. And then to look at their resumes, which is their bios and their website, to decide which candidate that we want to put in to work for us. And the thing that we're missing, like any other job would do, they would already tell you what they expect you to do. That you gonna go to that job, and that job gonna say, this is how I see your position, this is what I think I want you to do for me, and success looks like this. We don't have that. They come to the community, sell us all of these hopes and dreams, and then we buy them, and then we keep them in that same position year upon year upon year, and then complain. A job, I always said, politics is the only way where you can be over mediocre and average and not lose a red cent. A job would have let you go 3 years ago. Shoot, politics, you could go on felon and get hired in some political reason. I mean, look, you could be a felon today and get hired. That's okay. Yeah, that's all right. But I just mean when it comes to us making sure that we get what we're looking for, we have to set the agenda, have them come in front of us. This is what we're looking for. If you cannot give us what we're looking for, then you'll be done because we're coming strong because we are a block. We're going to vote. We're going to make sure that our vote actually counts because it's going to come from all of us. And we're not there. We're still not doing that.
You know why we can't vote as a block? Because everybody got their own wants.
Nah, man, because they're going to come, they're going to bring a turkey, they're going to bring a ham, and that's going to be it.
And they want that turkey. I tell you that story about years ago when I first came to Northwest Austin Council. I was 25, 26 years old, and Checkers was coming to the community, and I was able to be one of the youngest people, probably sound like DeAndre Brooks, in the room that said, "Wow, man, I get to be on the cutting edge of what's happening in my community." And Checkers came to sit with the Northwest Austin Council. Ms. Leola Span was president, and they had some of their executives sitting in front of us. So all of a sudden, we said, okay, what is your plan for your security plan for the community? What is your traffic plan for the community? What are your plans to hire? And we want to make sure that you hire young and old from our community. And they said, blah, 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 blah. And then they threw some doggone trinkets on the table, and all the doggone board members reached out and tried to grab the trinkets. And I was sitting next to Ms. Spence, president at the time, and I went to reach and she pushed me back with her arm. And she said, "Don't touch that." And I said, "Oh, okay." Now, once all the people grabbed the stuff off the table, the negotiation was over because they saw that we were just that feeble-minded, that we would just reach for some gift certificates and some doggone keychains that they didn't even have to answer our questions anymore. And guess what? They left that room after that, built their Checkers, and didn't even negotiate back with us.
Yep.
We are always on the take because everybody out here trying to get their own and get what, I mean, I wouldn't even call it grab mentality no more. We don't call it that because we found out the grabs do what they do because they're trying to help each other. But, it's a reality. That's all I can say. It's a reality. How do you even justify trying to create a block? We can't even get a block out of our own household. You have household family. You tell your kids or the mother and dad, you say, "This is how we're gonna do this." Now, mind you, if they don't live in the house, they're gonna be like, "Well, I got my own views. I got my own thoughts." Just to be different, Everybody won't be different for no different reason. But it is what it is.
I think another thing, Steve, I think we often make decisions based off of our emotions as well, instead of what the facts are. So like when people go back in for re-election, we be like, "Well, I like them and they nice," and it's like, "Well, what are the facts? What have they done? What didn't they do?" We need to sit down, go over that collectively, and just run down. Okay, this is their history. This is what they voted on. Just having that knowledge, not off of. I think DeAndre told me. What do you call it, DeAndre? The halo effect. When we like somebody and our emotions, and we have a short memory span too, because we might have hated someone for 3 years. Then that last year, right before they run, if they do a lot of stuff we like, it's like, you know what, you all right with me. You got my vote.
Memory. That's exactly what I was gonna say. If they prolong it and throw that carrot way out, we won't even. What was that? I thought I saw a carrot. I thought I smelled a carrot. Where'd it go? If it's way out, we ain't gonna remember. Short term, we will. Sad to say that is what it is. But you know what? I had a job like that. I used to like that job. We used to get a 30% bonus every year. And most jobs give you quarterly reviews. We got an annual review. Now think about it. What's your boss gonna remember that you did 364 days prior to the day you sitting in front of him when your review? And all you gotta do, remember that day I went out there and washed your car? Yeah, that's right. All right, you get your 30%. It's like he ain't gonna argue with you because he ain't taking no notes over the year. That's why you have quarterly reviews, and some people have monthly reviews.
And running records. People have records and progress reports. We need to keep progress reports in politics.
So this is another thing. And like I say, I always be sharing these ideas because I be hoping somebody will take it and run with it. Because I can't, I try to do all these things, but I know I can't. I've said one of the things that we need a favorability survey. That favorability survey can go out amongst the community and it will highlight certain portions of the role, let's just say alderman, for example. So we could look at their leadership. We can look at their staff. We can look at their communication. We can look at their voting, the way that they vote for ordinances and things like that. And we can have that be a part of the survey, and then you just break it open. Okay, in terms of leadership, do you think this person leads well? Do you think that whatever? Anyway, so to me, that favorability survey should go out every year. And that way we can keep track of, like, if it's going up, if it gets going down, if it's getting better. We also should always have I would like if for every new term, you have a 100-day report or some sort that follows their first 100 days, just like a mayor gets. And then you need a biannual report, something for like 6 months in. And then, well, that was the only things you need: 100, a biannual, and a yearly survey that really focuses in on how these folks are doing in these particular offices. And then that way, we as a community don't need to ask each other how well we're doing. Like, we've already expressed that because we have so many people that are involved in the process that, you know, have already given us those answers, and we've tracked it.
Part of the problem is people are so busy and they want somebody else to do that for them.
Oh man, look, I'll do it. Look, if we got money in terms for politics or civics, and I could do that, but I got to do it for money though.
Right. I mean,
I could do it for the free. I could put it together, but then you're talking about you got to actually push it though. Somebody got to get out. There's money available to go around and do civics, because that's all that is. Then somebody let me know. I'll put it together, and then we go out and get it out.
Well, I think they really do want somebody to do the legwork for them, because it's a lot. That's why they have what they call pundits.
Right.
That's what pundits do.
Right.
And people follow the pundits. I don't even know why. I don't even know why, because they just throw stuff together. No, it's not fact. The fact is there are pundits that do this, that just throw stuff together.
Right.
Because they don't, most of them, they don't come around. They're getting paid and they're just throwing stuff against the wall to see if it's sticks. We talking about flat out. I'm the person you're the inspector general of politics.
Right. That basically, yeah, basically.
I'm writing report cards and I'm turning them in to the principals. And the principals are the taxpaying people.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
So, you know, hey, that's a good idea, man. We should.
Man, look, again, if somebody got some money for civics, I can put it together. I can't do it for free because I got to focus on the paid work that I do, but I'm always willing to do work to get paid for it. I mean, I will always do that.
I like that idea.
But I mean, again,
I do too. I think it's great.
Man, just by every election time, they was like, here you go, here's the grade. But you know what? In essence, when we create a slate, that's kind of like what's going on, but it doesn't give a grade. It just says these are the people that we like and we pick. We hope that you will like them also and pick them.
Right.
You know. Again, politics to me is just how you like me and how you like me now.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
You know. Like in school.
Yeah. See, I feel that. I don't like that though. I'm against that trend. I don't want nobody to vote for me because they like me. Vote for me because I do my work, man.
That's right. That's right.
I can actually do it. I don't care how much you like me. Do I do my work? That's the only way I should be gauged.
Well, sometimes people just, again, they don't want to do research to understand that. And it doesn't necessarily mean, if you've never been in a political seat before, they'll say, well, we don't know if you can do the job.
That's a fact.
But you have to have had some track record or some semblance of an idea of what this person is capable of. That's why I was saying earlier, I'm man, why would I vote for a known liar, adulteress, immoral, warmongering clown? I mean, I can get that on Bozo Circus, Cicero, and Roosevelt, and whatever, all of that. But to put them in a position where you can affect my life, whether my life is if I'm going to live a miserable life or even die from the decisions that you make as a leader of our nation. So I don't understand that. People feel like that's the best way to go. But I'll go back to this again. The people that are strongly committed to this type of person, what I'm starting to find out and see most often, they're just talking. These people ain't even voting. They just talk. Man, I like these guys. Where's your registration stuff? What's that? Did you vote last time? Yeah, I voted for president last week. Really? Last week? Oh, okay. Yeah. What election? President of what country? But they just like to be in the mix and talk about political things, but not really be involved with it because it's best to talk about it than to do anything about it, and then complain about others that are doing things about it, like voting and making a difference. But I guess what they always say, if by not voting, you're actually voting for the other guy, whoever, and however the other guy tends to be.
I'll say this. I was when we were running, and 25th district is primarily Hispanic, right? And a lot of them do not have voters' rights, but the ones who do, young and old, they are on top of it. They take politics very serious because they understand the power.
They do.
And
Hold on, one second. They do not have voters' rights?
Well, not voters' rights. A lot of them, I shouldn't say voters' rights. They're not able to vote. They're not able to vote. They're not all citizens to vote. So, but the ones who do, and the ones who are part of their family, they make sure they are knowledgeable and that they get out and vote. And they put people in power. They bring their young people up. They put them in power. They elevate them as often as they can. They are involved from every level. You have chief of staff. They 20-something years old in some of those offices. Yep. So it's us. It's not every community. But we have to do better.
They believe in our system better than we do. Yes. I mean, if you hear them talk in these meetings and these sessions, they are taking advantage of the things that the rights and things that even we should take advantage of. And even the ones that are not, like you said, that don't have voting rights right now, they are heavily engaged in advocacy efforts to support they causes. They on top of it, young, old, teenage, they are attentive. And somebody said that they hustle is different than ours. I was in a whole dialogue about this, about how our hustle has a level of entitlement on it. But they hustle is like, we going to get it and we going to get it together. And that was a huge debate.
We had that hustle too. It's all about who's eating. If you're a starving person versus a man that's eating filet mignon and escargot and all this other stuff, and you over there starving, the man that's starving got to work harder to eat. It's as simple as that. You got to gain calories to burn calories. You ain't got no food, you ain't getting no calories. But the reality is, don't ever dismiss the idea. We are the architect of what they're doing.
Yes. I agree.
Let me tell you, I come from the South. And believe me, coming to the North was a big experience. And when I found out, like, black people were coming here and they were living in they used to have what they call tenement houses, where there was one bathroom and 5 bedrooms. And everybody would just live in those apartments and share the bathrooms, and everybody family, and everybody shared a meal, and everybody shared ideas and talked amongst each other, even though they may not have even been all family. That's just how it down was. But now we became so disenfranchised, thanks to what Mosaic tends to call inflation. reparations and reparation and anything with Asian on it. That's the thing. But I'm gonna say this: don't misunderstand one bit. The American way will change anybody. They will soon disenfranchise, which they are already becoming more disenfranchised. The first thing I hear now from Spanish-speaking people, or Hispanic, Latinos, whatever you call them, they run around talking about, well, them the doggone Venezuelans over there. We work harder than them. Like, that's what to say to me. Y'all speaking the same language to me. So now you want to disenfranchise and break off now. And we ain't them, they ain't us. They ain't, come on now. Come on. We ain't gonna do this. We ain't gonna. Right. It was all good and fat and dandy when everybody was struggling. But once you got up a little bit, you don't like to see nobody else struggling below you. That's on your cup.
So I heard different from different people, because some people were saying their gripe wasn't necessarily that, you know, the difference is they wanted to just be known that, like, hey, we came here a different way. My family had to pay this. We had to go through this. It took us 20 years. So I think some of the conversations was different. So I heard different gripes and they made sense. You know, I understood it. So I think some of that is gave some of the division too.
I'm a little lost. Now the people that actually crossed the border illegally 30, 40, 50 years ago, we ain't even go 50 years back, 10, 15, 10 years ago, they tripping on the people that came in across the border, which we as citizens are saying they're illegal too, but the government is allowing them other sanctions and other things. They're like, oh, that's not right. We broke in here legally. What do you mean you broke in here legally? You came in illegal, they came in illegal. They got some pay. Now you tripping on somebody else. I don't even understand that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
How you get the pay? Oh, you talking about the Venezuelans got paid?
Nah, the people that's been here that came in illegally.
The people still ain't got no papers, man. That's just what they're tripping on.
The words of my brother Roman. Then they ass back to you.
No, but they feel like they've been left out. The American country, the government has left us out. They used us for our labor, but they haven't made us whole yet. But they're making others whole.
True.
I don't understand how you tripping on that. You just got over here, but now you tripping on somebody else coming in getting a little bit over. And they look like you, speak like you, come from south of the border like you, but you ain't. No, we ain't trying to hear that. No, y'all treating them better. Let's go back to the master syndrome again, you know. Master treating them better. Really? Come on, y'all. Let's be real. Let's be real. I got a couple that just moved behind my house. Young couple. Just got out of high school in like 2019. Got a $600,000 house. And I had to break it down to him. I'm like, hey, you know, I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm the OG right here. You just gonna have to recognize that. You're gonna have to do certain things over here. Keep your place up. You have to make sure you're keeping the noise and stuff down. You know, we're gonna work this in and work it out. I'm here to help. What's your name? Oh, my name is Sal. Sal? Oh, really? Salito. I think your name is Saul. Oh, man. So we ain't gonna come over here trying to blend in with the other people. We're gonna stay on what we stand on. Your name is Saul. What's your girl name? Oh, her name is Nicole. No. We're going to stand on what it really is. Her name is Nicarasa. So don't come over here trying to be like you going to blend in with the other people. And we're going to be Nicole and Sal. No, you Nicarasa and you Salvador.
What's wrong with that, though, Steve? What's wrong with that? You got to let people be who they want to be.
No, because you ain't going to come around. You think you done made it up. Look, I'm just saying, it's just like if you come from the gang and you come back to another gang, you ain't gonna get in and fit in with that gang. You gotta represent how you've been represented. Or you false flagging, as they say. Hey, you can't, you need to I'm just saying. I'm gonna go with the better gang. Now my gang wasn't approved of, so I'm gonna go with the better gang, and I'm gonna be Sal. You know, I could pass for Italian. I'll be Sal, Salvador, or Saul.
You know how we can get past this? Let's talk about Peacebrook.
Wow.
What my man at? He already he's popping up next week. Watch. It's popping up next week. It's the last.
Where Barry at? I saw him.
He's Barry already in, man.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He all the way in. But I'm just
Y'all,
saying,
this is something where we could do right now, right? So we're talking about how we need to gather and get people get one vote. So we got different organizations on the West Side. We got West Side Rising, Mothers on a Mission. We got Crystal Dyer's organization. We can get together and we should each get together collectively and support these orgs and lift them up to the level of some of these other organizations one at a time. Like we all get together.
That's what DeAndre been saying for 100 years.
Yep, we all support Mothers on a Mission this month. Next month, we all going and we gonna flood West Side Rise. Then the next month, we all gonna flood Crystal Dyer, go to one of her things.
Yep.
And of course, y'all make sure y'all go to the council meeting. That's how we do it.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
the first thing we gotta do to make that happen, everybody, we gotta have what they call a bleeding. Everybody gotta give up every dollar they get from wherever they get their funding for. Let's start, because when you getting funding, you owe somebody something.
That's right.
For something. And then once you start feeling you doing something for somebody, you ain't gonna have no time. I ain't got time to be working with your initiative. I got to do this for the person that give me. I mean, it is what it is.
So you know what I try to do though, Steve, I do try to build into my grants and my proposals supporting other organizations. That's one of the things that I really am intentional about doing. I don't compromise that because for me, I understand it's going to take us coming together some kind of way to support one another. But part of the challenge is you can support some groups and other groups you'll never see down. They'll never reciprocate. And then some groups you support, they may even give more funding than you, and you could support them and undergird them, and they will not under no circumstance share funding, even say we'll give you an hourly wage or anything. But for me, I even try to look past that and say, let me build this into some of our funding requests that we do support other groups. I would love that. I would love for us to be able to get together. Angelica said it today. DeAndre been saying it. Steven said, people been saying it for us to get together and lift up the groups that actually do the work on the ground.
You ever notice people, certain groups, don't coalesce with other groups. They just will not. It's like, why these people don't want to support and help or receive some help? Now they'll take your help from you. That's our health authority. I ain't gonna say it. They'll take your help from you. They'll take your help from you and try to pimp you out as much as they can. But then when you say, hey, what you got? I ain't got no money. My friend gave me no money, but I got a whole lot of gold. But I ain't gonna let you do that. Really? But you gonna pimp me out? Okay. All right. That's how we doing it. Nah, it ain't working. It ain't. But I just told DeAndre this the other day. I said, man, DeAndre, I remember when I was a young man with Northwest Austin Council, and I used to look at all the older people involved on the board and in the community that was involved. There was always older people that were involved. Drug court, everything. They were the ones that were off. They could go to drug court during the day because they retired. And I used to say, man, I'm not going to be like them when I get old. I'm going to be part of an advisory board. I'm going to be living my life. I'll support NAC. I'll support people in Austin. I'll support the initiative. That's where I be. That's where I come from. That's what I am. And I said, I can't die here, you know. And I've seen all of my board members die. I mean, literally.
Yeah.
I mean, I got probably just 3, 4 still around, but I'm talking. We had boards of 17 and 15 when I first came. And I used to look back and I'm like, man, I can't be like that. I like what they're doing. I really know they're the vanguard, but but again, that's because I had 25, 26, 28, 29-year-old mind or whatever. And here I am, 60 something, going into my 60s. And I'm saying, I got to make this work. I got to make this happen. I mean, where does the door close behind me? You know, and I move to the next. And I don't see it now, and I understand why they did that. I understood Miss Fan's vision, goal, condition. And, you know, I used to think they ain't got nothing to do. I used to always say, they just don't have nothing to do. But they were the vanguard. They did what they had to do, what they needed to do, what they must do.
Yeah.
To keep our community up, going, motivated, and with hope. We got, you know, hope is a big word.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other thing was, I told DeAndre, I said, Miss Fan will be dead 20 years next year. And I'm like, man, I've been in charge for 20 years. She was in charge for about 25 when her reign, 25. And I'm like, man, would she approve of what I've been doing? You know?
Right.
I'm like, well, I guess she would, because I told DeAndre another thing. When I was the board member, a vice president, a second vice president, my job, guess what they made me? I was always the hatchet man. Steve, we gotta get rid of such and such. Steve, we gotta go fire such and such. Steve, you need to bring them in. I'm like, and it didn't dawn on me until a few years back. They called them, they hired them, thought things weren't working, and then they say, Steve, go get them out of here. And I was the hatchet man for about 5, 10 different people. You know, but fortunately, since we've managed through these 20 years, and as a small, like they say, keep your footprints, the circle small, I haven't had to do the hatchet thing, because I treaded on a lot thinner water and ice than what others did. You know, they believed, they put their faith in, and I shared this with somebody else that's been in the game a long time in community and nonprofit. They said, but Steve, that's all we got in our community. The people we hire are a reflection of the people in our community, and you just have to have faith and try and see how they turn out. That's all you can do. And I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right. I'm just me working in the corporate and working in engineering for over 30 some years. It just didn't happen like that. You just didn't let everybody in and then you fire them, you know. Now, a lot of people got fired. I've seen people get fired. I've seen people get walked out. I've seen all that. But it wasn't just on the level that I had seen working in nonprofit and community in CBOs. CBO turnover is like, how long does a fly live? I don't know. A cicada? How long does a cicada live?
Oh, Lord.
Man, I done fired some of the best and some of the worst. And I done walked the door. I ain't proud of it.
Ms. Bertha said, how many of the big organizations, how many of the organizational heads from these big organizations are actually from the community?
Good point. I've always said, if you lay your head where you make your bread, guess what?
That's right.
You're going to keep your community alive and feed.
That's right.
So, when you don't lay your head where you make your bread, you can let your community die. As long as they bring me my money. That's what they do. And it is what it is. I've seen it. I'm sad to say I just thought better of others that's in the game like that. But maybe I'm optimistic, a fool, because I've seen it for too long, and I shouldn't open my eyes and say, nah, they don't really care. They don't really care. It's all about getting that dollar and take. And I hate to say that, because we're talking about other Black people.
Right.
You take that and you run and you think that you really helping? Like really, come on now, you know. Come on. We could do better. You could do way better, man. Way better. I just wished
And they got
I just
definitely utilizing all the medallion powers.
who is that? Wait, what was that? Mohammed, yeah. No, I was just gonna say I just think that I wish that in this dispensation of time, this millennium, this decade, that people like Miss Fan and Butch were still alive, and Mr. Campbell and what's his name? I forgot his name, man. I'm getting old too. But you know, people that I consider to be mentors of mine, I wish they were here so they could just put it out there, man, because they ain't have no problem saying it. And certain people wasn't gonna do the things they do on the day when they were alive. They just wouldn't.
Now the elders keep you in check.
Man, they would keep them checking me in check.
The elders keep us.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I seen it with my own eyes. As soon as they passed and they started getting weaker, man, they just took advantage, you know. Hey, what they say, take advantage of the weak. Man, so what y'all got to say, y'all? I know we about to roll down in a little bit, but we're gonna give another 5 to you because you know, I think we had some good conversation today. We had some good information. This blood drive is
conversation. Great.
most definitely. We gotta push this blood drive, guys. I know it's this is the other part that we didn't touch on. In most Black communities, we have been led to believe since we were children that, you know, what the parents just don't say. You don't act right, you're gonna get a shot. You're gonna get the needle. So kids, they're traumatized. They gotta give me a shot. They're gonna give me a needle. You gonna act right? Yeah, I'm gonna act right. Really. The same thing that 5-year-old was told. And I always tell people, we are the 5-year-olds of yesterday. That's who you really are. You know, as you become older.
For sure. Yeah.
You know,
But you know what, Steve? Let me ask a question real quick. Why is it that now you're right about what you just said, but it seems like when it comes to giving plasma away and getting an incentive, people run to the blood bank.
They do? You said they do?
I'm talking about like when they taking your plasma.
Right.
Like because they drawing your blood. So, the guy earlier is like, you know, Black people usually don't. Now I might be just talking about a small sector of Black people, and they might be all junkies. I'm talking about, but I do see a lot of people, and I know a lot of people who get their blood drawn and give it away all the time, so they can get their plasma out at the plasma centers.
It's a hustle. No, it's a hustle. It's a hustle for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely a hustle.
And it's typically those that need that money to get that quick fix.
Yeah. Now I know wanted to do giving plasma, but she wasn't a junkie or anything. She just, you know, that was one of the ways she came up on a little bit of bread when she needed it.
All right. Well, you know, unfortunately, you have those that take advantage, and you know what is it? Who's using who? People that take blood, or is the people that just giving it up like they looking for Count Dracula or something? So I don't know. I just have to say, you know, in this case, what we're working with, we're talking about Black people. We're talking about a disease that really debilitates us, because I've seen, you know, how people, you know, young people that have sickle cell, how they just become, man, very lethargic, you know. It's, you know, but hey, we can help y'all. Come on out. Come out. We need your help. We need your help. So show up and show out and bring that blood for sickle cell. Help us support those that are in need. And you know what? It's our own. What they say, FUBU, for us, by us. We need us. And
I like
We're
that.
gonna be there. We're gonna promote it, Steve.
That's
yeah,
all I'm
man.
saying. We need more promotion behind it.
People not understanding. We can't go out there and say, give us some white blood. Go out there and give us some Asian blood.
Yeah.
But this is for black people, man. We got to give our own blood. When they say blood,
You know what? We should have asked them, what's the best way to prepare? Maybe you know, Angelica, the best way to prepare to give blood.
Well, I'm sorry. What you say, Sandra?
I said I should have asked, what's it, Kwame? Kwame? Was it Kwame? Kwame? I should have asked them this. Well, what's the best way to prepare to give blood?
Oh, you know when
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
when I gave blood, you have to eat a full meal before you give blood. That's the only preparation I know about. You have to eat a full meal. No snacking, eat a full meal.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, and I think he mentioned like the night before. He was like, if you went out the night before, so probably just being hydrated and not dehydrated. Hydrated and full meal.
That's good. No good training.
Yeah,
good
that's
training.
right. Because if you're not hydrated, your blood is gonna come out real slow.
This is what I wanted. This is the challenge I have. This is the challenge. We know what our challenge is. The challenge is to get at least 20 to 30 units, which means 30 people. We have 28 block clubs that we are affiliated and associated with. That's just on the low end. All we ask is that those block clubs, especially those in the immediate area of the Northwest Austin County, show up and show out. Bring one person from the block. Maybe it's your vice president. Maybe it's your treasurer. Maybe it's another person that's just living on the block. We just want them to come out and donate the blood, y'all. And then we're going to forget all about that old school trauma stuff. Hey, you're 49, 50 years old. Still talking about, my mama said the needle, if I act right, I ain't going to get the needle. Don't worry about the needle.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to convince black people to do that. Once our people stuck in their way, it's over with.
Yeah, you know what though? I heard Aiden and Dylan. Aiden was like, you know what? I did it before. I feel like I need to do it again. He said he feel like, and I done heard him talk about God, so he touched me. And Dylan was like, he's like, maybe I'll bring a friend. And Dylan was like, I'll be that friend. And it's like these are young people, so that's so inspiring. And
but you know what? A good way to do it, the blood bank should be hosted at a church right on Sunday. That's when you get the most black people, you get the most visitors, and if a church is, or whatever church you go to is they doing the work of God, quote unquote, I don't see why it shouldn't be blood banks just inside of churches. Like, hey, we collecting blood from black people. We all God, you're gonna save a life. Like that's the incentive. Like we gotta start thinking out of the box if we wanted to run and solve this problem and get more black blood. You're not gonna be able to tell black people on a podcast or too much. You gotta touch us. You gotta be right in our face. Like, hey, you already here. Let me get that from you. Let me get that. You know what I'm saying? Don't hold on. Don't drink the blood of Jesus right now. We need clean blood. No wine. After that, so that's an idea. Oh, we can't hear you, Steve. I can't hear none of y'all.
I can't hear Steve.
I can't hear nobody. Everybody muted. Nope.
I hear you,
I see you
Mo,
talking.
Yeah.
No, I hear you too.
Oh, that's weird.
Hey guys.
Out right now.
What's
Hello, I
going
hear
on?
you.
What's going on?
Oh, I think
Y'all got me now, right?
Yeah.
I said that you know as well as I do, the majority of black people are not in churches. They're at that club that you was at last night, And you need to go out there and drag them people to this blood drive. Because that's what
Oh, yeah.
what
Oh yeah. We definitely can, but I think most Black people congregate in one spot for multiple long hours of time. I think the most place Black people concentrate is Sunday church.
No, there's more people.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. That not these days.
I think so. I see every Sunday I see it packed. I'm talking about a group of Black people from different households, different walks of life, all meeting in one spot to worship. I feel like the church is the best place to start getting drawn that blood, because one, you have a moral responsibility. You could tell them, you could trick them in like, hey, you got a moral responsibility to help thy neighbor. I'm being serious. Like, you know, you gotta put these things. You can't just set up in front of Walgreens and say, hey, let me draw your blood. Like, that ain't gonna happen.
I like your chutzpah. I like your drive. So I know I will see you here on the 25th, right? Be there, be square. Matter of fact, we're gonna wait till you get off work so you can get on there. What time?
Wait, hold on. Man, you know what? I work real long hours, so it depends. If I got a lot of stops, it might be 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Look, if I gotta bring a Red Cross truck over there next to the FedEx truck or the Amazon truck that you work with.
Oh yeah, I got that good blood too. I got
Mosaic, it only takes a good 15 minutes, and you start from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So it takes 15 minutes. You can come on your lunch break, or you can go before you go to work.
I have a question.
You know what? I need to. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I just the flyer you have for the event, and could you send it to me? And then also, are you sending this out to like all the organizations so they can like the Austin Coming Togethers and Builds and WHA, so they can post it out on their websites?
You know what? That's a good idea. I will. I've been sending it quickly, but I have not. Thank you for that. I'll send it. Ramaya, can you put it in the chat too?
We're gonna cross-pollinate.
Right, yeah, because that's the thing that a lot of I hear always a lot of complaints about a lot of organizations, but guess what? They have tremendous email lists, right?
Yeah.
So nobody's gonna give you their list, but if you send it to them, Austin Coming Togethers comes out on Monday. If you send it to them right now, send it to what's the lady's name?
Grace. Grace and Ethan.
Grace or Ethan. If you send it to them tonight, they'll have it in the morning. And and then you call and let them know you sent it, and they'll put it on their email blast for this week. You got Project Exploration. They deal with families and children, right? Send it to Denicia Wood, they'll put it on the email blast, right? And guess what? That's going to a whole bunch of young folks and their families. You see, so we got to use what we got.
You're right.
Stuff about what somebody else ain't gonna do. Well, guess what? We don't know what they're gonna do if we don't communicate with them.
That's right.
You see, we don't even know and stuff. A lot of things people tell you, these big, I see this stuff on Facebook, all the time. I have insomnia all the time, so I'm up late at night and all that other stuff floats to the top. Everybody's complaining, they getting these grants, they getting this, they getting that. Well, hey, have you sat down and talked with them? You see, in a lot of cases, ain't nobody even talk with these people, right? They just expect by osmosis that they gonna get something, okay? And I mean, I get a lot, in-kind stuff is priceless, right? To me, at least. And I get so much, if I got events or whatever, I mean, it ain't all about money. It's I need some diapers now because I got a family that need those or whatever the deal. When you didn't make relationships with these organizations and you come in and you ask for stuff, they gonna give it to you, right? you
You are
know,
absolutely correct.
and things like that, because and that's where it all gets mixed up. People think this is all about money. Guess what? I've been in a nonprofit for 9 years. I've had a for-profit for over 25 years, right? And I just started getting grants in the last 12 months. And people think that there's some mysterious God in the universe. When you start getting that grant game is hard. Okay, it's hard. You need the grant writer, then you need somebody to manage that mug once you get it, right? So it ain't like you sitting up watching TV, or you on vacation. No. Somebody got to manage that stuff. It is a lot of work, okay? Because the state and the federal, they don't play, okay? And I'm just in this last year, I've met so many people who they finally got the grants, and guess what? They never even used them because nobody told them the truth, right? That you still had to manage that mug once you got it. And they never spent a dime of it because they never got a dime because they didn't know what to do. You see, so that's the thing. So it needs classes. I mean, they need to have a Zoom about that. The people think that some mysterious God is gonna help you once you get a grant. Guess what? That God don't exist. It's called money, right? And you got to come out of your own pocket at that time to pay, or you are not going to be able to facilitate that grant.
Let's be real. The other part of it is somebody got to like you too to give it to you. But it's in there. They don't like
it's so much about if you got a good grant writer that believes in you, okay, that's number one. I got a grant writer that been with me for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years. You see, it's about creating everything's about creating relationships. People, I see some people, man, they, it ain't pretty the way they look when you see them, right? Because they always got a mean scrawl on their face, right? And that ain't too welcoming to nobody, right? And so now if you go into a meeting and you looking like that, and you acting like somebody just beat you up, or you want to beat somebody up, I don't know who would like that person, honestly. Okay? So, so that's the other part to this. But in real life, a nonprofit is a business. Okay, that's it. It's a business. Right. It's got to be managed like a dang business, and you got to create relationships just like you do with a business. I like I say, I had Gone Again for over 25 years, and people. Yeah, exactly. For me to book travel all over the world. I mean, I customize. I ain't never met none of these people. I know something called social media marketing. Okay. I took the class, okay? And some of these people contact me from California and all over the United States.
You got one good person that likes you in your corner, and that's that grant writer. That grant writer isn't saying, I want 10-15% up front before I
no. She gets paid up front. There's no such thing that I know of a grant writer that don't get paid up front. No, she gets paid up front. Okay.
How much?
Before she puts pens to paper, she gets paid. Okay. So that BS, that's why I hear so many myths, right? The myth capital of the world is grants, right? People, oh yeah, this grant writer is going to put me on a payment plan. And then once I get a grant, then, what are you even talking about? Well, and then I'll have a question. So has this person written anything for, well, it's been over a year. And they haven't written anything for me, but that's because it's nonsense. Okay, it's nonsense. Grant writers, real ones that I know at least, they get paid when they tell you, hey, I get the email along with, just like her other customers, hey, this new grant is out, or this youth grant, this fits you, she'll, whatever, but I'm only taking 30 customers on this one. I'm only taking 40 customers or whatever. You got to pay.
I like what you're saying, because DeAndre has been talking about for years. The organization should collaborate. How come they can't collaborate and have doggone same grant writers?
Exactly. I give my grant writer to everybody, okay? Because guess what? She's called a business, right? So I will put her number, I'll put her website in the chat right now. You see, I
Oh
give
yeah,
her,
yeah, do that. Yeah,
she's a
yeah, yeah. Put
business.
that in there.
She ain't my personal nothing, right? She's just a business. Guess what? And she takes business every day. Okay.
That's what's up.
And so that's the thing. That's the other thing about, like people that have that situation or have somebody that's good, it's all to themselves. No, it's not. Because guess what? She is a business and stuff. And see here, let me try to figure this phone out so I can.
We're gonna, you could say the information too if you want, but
right. Well, I'll say it. Because I can't. I got all these apps on the phone. The name of her company is Prime, PRIME, Proposal, PROPOSAL Group, GROUP .com. PrimeProposalGroup.com. And on her website, you make an appointment and she will ask you who referred you. My name is Crystal Dyer, CRYSTAL. You can even spell it wrong. She know who I am, right? So
I like that in you.
That's
doing
right.
Something that Jackie Reed would never do.
well, the thing is, Jackie Reed, they write their own grants, you see. But I can tell you something. I'm gonna tell everybody this right now, and I always say this, contrary to what other people might have experienced. I've had them over there at Westside Health Authority when a funder was looking for, and this was a private funder that was looking for somebody to give a youth grant to, okay? They called Westside Health Authority and they referred those people to me. Okay? Now I ain't seen Jack. I didn't hear nothing from Westside Health Authority. I heard from that foundation. They told me that Jackie Reed or the Westside Health Authority, because Jackie Reed's not over it now. That they had contacted them because they knew they were large organization over here in Austin, and they wanted to know they needed they had this money. This funder wanted to donate this money for some youth, and actually it was specifically for youth travel, right? And Westside Health Authority referred them to me.
Yeah, but you kind of got like a little niche, so that's why I'm gonna throw that.
I'm just saying.
They're back against the wall. They didn't really like you. They just said,
but
you know what?
They do youth stuff. They could have fudged something together.
They want that.
It was something in it that they didn't like or couldn't do because they don't give you nothing for nothing.
Well, I'm just telling y'all a good experience. So anybody can put anything else in there they want to, but I'm telling you, I hadn't seen them in God knows when. But that foundation called me and told me that Jackie, not Jackie, but Westside Health Authority sent them to me.
That's all we said. We happy you got the blessing because we just ain't never seen a lot of blessings come out of it.
Well, and this is the thing. This is the part about blessings. How do you know? You don't know who got a blessing and who didn't. You might not have got one, but somebody else has got some, and guess what? They ain't telling you. You see?
No.
So at least I'm telling it.
No, because there's a meeting once a month because the people that were unblessed, we get around each other and we talk and say, we didn't get blessed.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So why are y'all unblessed? I need to give y'all a class on how to damn be blessed then, because some of y'all ain't doing right.
like they say.
Because I didn't got a lot of blessings from a lot of strangers and a lot of other people. So something is wrong if all of a sudden, you know, it's all these, it's room full of crab apples talking about they ain't been blessed. So I guess what? I got a class for y'all, okay? I'll do that. Okay. I donate my time because y'all need help.
Nah.
Yes, we do.
I know
Like
you
in
need
the
help.
a Mosaic month. Pass the peas like you used to. Hoping them peas ain't just green peas. They got some Benjamins behind them too.
Oh, you know,
Right,
boo, you
so,
know me,
hey,
man.
yeah, right. I got some info for y'all, you know, and that's the thing, you know. I mean, because you know how it is in business. Because, like, say, you know, hey, you know, I ain't been in the nonprofit realm all my life like some of y'all. You know, I've been in the for-profit realm, right? So I know how to conduct business. And I took that same skill and I brought it over to my nonprofit, and it has worked tremendously. Yeah, y'all watch me on NBC on Tuesday, okay? I'll be on there talking about my nonprofit and the trolley tours, the free trolley tours in Austin.
What time? What time?
I think it's 1 o'clock, but I'll send it to you. I gotta look at my email.
Put it on, like put it on, sir. Hey y'all, we gotta wind it down. I'm they ain't all day.
Y'all, we right up to we're a little past 8 o'clock, so we're gonna go ahead and start going around the room and get the fun thoughts, man.
What you got in conclusion, Crystal?
Yes, well, I mean, that's it. I mean, like I say, you know, I have a whole bunch of, you know, free knowledge and everything. So, you know, anybody that, you know, want to stop whining and start benefiting from what they have in the palm. All of us already got a blessing in the palm of our hand, and that blessing is we woke up this morning, okay? So let's start there, and let's change the rest of the day, okay? So I'm gonna show y'all how.
Crystal, somebody said, what is your organization? Go ahead.
Chicago Austin Youth Travel Adventures, and I'm at 4952 West Chicago Avenue. I just bought a building, and I have a computer lab in there, a kids zone. I'm gonna have a therapeutic center. And then there's gonna be me and my employees.
There you go.
Oh, you got money. Hire me.
All right, Jose. What you got in conclusion?
Yeah, I'm telling, ma'am, hire me. It seems like you got some blessings that I need. You know, but you know, it was a good conversation. Definitely a good conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Tell her what
definitely
you do.
Good. Oh yeah. Oh, I do marketing. And I'm getting my IT. I'm studying for my IT cert right now. So if you're gonna need some IT, somebody to fix them computers, hook them computers up, install Windows, do some troubleshooting. Your sound ain't working. Your computer overheating. You know what I'm saying? You need a motherboard. You need a personal computer built just for you. I know how to build it. You know what I'm saying? I'm really good with computers, really good with websites, you know what I'm saying? Front end, back end, working on my coding too. So, you know, got a multifaceted of skills, you know what I'm saying? We can start at 60,000 a year. Start at 60. That's the black community price right there.
You not just a wannabe Republican, you also a human.
Oh yeah, what? Come on, man. Everybody know I'm a leader. And I'm telling y'all, hey, go get y'all money back. Cause y'all shooter, he don't know how to shoot. Go get y'all money back. It did not work, man. Whoever y'all paid to take my man out, it didn't work. And trust me, all this gonna do is embolden people. This is only gonna embolden the black community.
Wait till y'all find out he was really the son's friend trying to assassinate his daddy. So okay, keep going.
Hey, listen, listen. They said, you know what though? They said the same thing when Martin Luther King and black people were saying, you know, the CIA has something to do with it. Oh, shut up! You're a conspiracy theorist. No, things happen. You know, things happen, and they tried. The Democrats trying to lock him up. That ain't working. So they said, all right, we're gonna kill him. The day before yesterday. Biden said it publicly. We need to put the bullseye on Trump, and next thing the man gets shot next day. Go get y'all money back, man. Y'all mans can shoot.
Why did they get a registered Republican to do it? Because I guess they know they own cash.
Moral people. When you're a Republican, you're a gun owner. If you're a gun owner, you don't play with your guns like that. Only Democratic people do stuff like that. And dude was an Antifa liberal Democrat that did that.
that ain't the news I got, but nevertheless, what you say there, Tiny? What you got for us in conclusion? You've been quiet, man.
Oh yeah, well, sometimes it's good to listen, and it's great conversation. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, all right. Barry Corn, what you got for us? Barry Corn.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, indeed.
And we hear you, Barry.
So earlier you were talking about getting organizations together. And I think a good way of doing that is organizations simply saying that they're part of Peacebrook, because Peacebrook is a marketing vehicle and a vehicle for recognizing the unity among so many people and organizations. And that unity empowers all of us.
Unity in the community, in the CBOs, community-based organizations. All right, what you got there, Elder Houston?
I enjoyed the conversation, very lively and interesting. So I just had a good time tonight.
Appreciate. Who else we got there? Kiona, how are you doing? What you got to say in conclusion?
I am doing well. I am actually just coming back from a wedding and I just decided to tune in. But I came in on the part where they were talking about blessings. I will say this. I'm a very blessed person. And I believe that the people around me, because they are associated with me, are blessed. And I believe that anything that I put my hands to do is blessed. The key is just keeping God in the center. That is the most important thing, is keeping God in the center of everything that you do. And that's all I had to say. I came in at the very end. I'm pretty sure it was a great show.
Yeah, we went from Trump to toenails. So, hey, we was there. I appreciate that. How about Lobby? Who is Lobby? You got anything in Lobby?
There I am. Hi, guys. I am very impressed with this podcast, not to mention that Ms. Dyer and the young lady who just came in a few minutes ago, they have really inspired me, because I say every day that we're blessed because of the things that don't happen to us. And I'm going to say that everybody on this podcast is blessed, even if we're blessed by listening to the podcast. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you need to hear things to understand what is actually being said to you. Sometimes we don't know how to sort it, but later on it'll come to us. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Lisa P, what you got to say in conclusion?
Appreciate the conversation, the information. Definitely we'll be doing the blood drive. Thank you again.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Who we got? Janita. You got anything in conclusion? Janita Johnson? That was Lisa just a minute ago. Janita, if you'd like to say something in conclusion, please do so. We appreciate your comments and we want to hear what you have to say in conclusion. If you don't, we understand. I'm going to say one thing. Hey, I want to let everybody know I appreciate all that were on today. We have quite a few people on the Zoom today. But hey, that's good. We we're going to our 4th year. I think we're gonna do a major remodel in here. We're gonna make it a little bit more cozy, comfy, so we get more people down here. We're gonna set this podcast up on a different scale, different level, and we might get it in a little bit more of a flavor that we all need to be in tune with. Going into our 4th year, y'all. We gotta make it tight and right. Have a good night. Let DeAndre take us out.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Hey,
Good night.
Yeah. So y'all, we do this every Sunday between the hours of 6 and 8. Sometimes we go a little over the conversation break. There's various ways you can interact with our show. We got the Facebook, the YouTube, and the Zoom. If you're on the Facebook or the YouTube, if you type your comments in the comment section, we're able to see them. We bring them up on the screen. We go back and forth. There was quite a few folks that was doing that today. I was trying to toss out the comments as they were coming in, but we were also replying to them through typing. If you're on the Zoom, you're writing the show, you can come off mute, speak your speech, just keep it respectful. If it's disrespectful in any type of way, man, we're going to have to do a couple things that's either mute you or boot you, you know what I mean? But that's up to you. Either way, please share the show. Again, as Steve mentioned, we're going on the 4th year and we just continue trying to get it growing. These conversations are important, man. We're trying to really get our people and level set, if you will. We got to know where we at so we can know where we're going. You know what I mean? And it's very important that we spread this message out and continue to get more people involved in it. So please share the show where you can. Last thing I'd like to say. Did you have another final, right? Or you did?
No, we talked about the blood drive. That's it. And then
okay. Let me see. Last couple things I'd like to say, and this is future tense, and I'll probably repeat it in shows after this. But the 25th district and 15th district together are working on a Know Your Rights. We're focused on cannabis, and so obviously cannabis has been decriminalized in Chicago, and we want to make sure that folks understand the do's and don'ts when utilizing cannabis. So we're going to have the state's attorney, Cannabis Equity Illinois, and Westside Justice Center to come out. We're actually going to do it at the new art location that popped up here in Chicago, 5815 West Madison, and that's going to be a Thursday. That's going to be August 15th from 5:30 to probably 7:30.
And that art location is
5815. It's what you call it?
You talking about
Front Porch Art Center. Front Porch Art Center. So again, we'll have a flyer and all that to go out. But that's the only update that I wanted to mention. So if you all want to come out, learn a little bit about cannabis, please come on through. So with that, I always like to say in closing, we have open seats at the table. We're just trying to welcome y'all on home. Thank y'all for allowing us to welcome you to Northwest Austin Council. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
God bless everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, all.
All right. Later.